channel. I'm standing right here next to my lilac bushes and I am harvesting this beautiful sweet smelling lilac today because lilac is one of my favorite flower and I just love the aroma and the smell and it's just very therapeutic just to like smell those lilac flowers. But the lilacs are very short-lived. So they just blossom for a very short period of time, and then you gotta catch them, and you gotta catch them and do whatever you gotta do with them very quickly, because soon they'll be all gone. So today I'm just collecting some because they have so many benefits. Do you guys know that lilac leaves have been used for malaria and is still being used for malaria to treat malaria, of course. So it's also used for deworming, like to get rid of parasites and stuff like that. Did you know that? Like lilac is such a good medicinal plant. It's not just of sweet smelling flowers or for to put in your vase or just plant around your garden for decoration. It has lots and lots of medicinal uses. Now, when it comes to the lilac flower itself, the lilac flower can be used for many things, such as it can be used for cold and flu. And okay, guys, it can be used for cold and flu. So every year I pick lots of lilac and I use them to make lilac honey. So two things that I use my lilac for is one, lilac honey, and two, I use it to make lilac infused oils. So this is what I'm gonna make today. I'm gonna make an infused oil and I'm also gonna make lilac honey and lilac infused honey, and I'm gonna take you all along with me to show you the process how I do that, because I have like half a jar left of my lilac honey from last year, so I gotta use that up. So let's move on and continue to harvest more lilac as I just chat with you guys. It's very windy today, so if the video is very windy, that's just the way it is. So another way that lilac is used is for a tonic. So these lilac flowers, as well as the leaves, can be infused in vodka or any sort of alcohol, and you can use it as a tonic. Just to take a couple of sips, or you can also infuse it in a vinegar and make a vinegar tonic if you don't want to make like an alcoholic tonic. Uh, you can make a tincture with it. Again, you have to put this in alcohol, some kind of vodka or something. And you can make a tonic without using alcohol by just using hot water and having it wash the flowers and the leaves really well. And then you can put it in hot water for 24 hours. And then you can drink that as a tonic or as like a detox. And if you want to preserve it, you can freeze it in like ice cubes, and then you can have it for later to make like an iced tea or whatever you want later on in the future if you want to preserve it. But if you're going to make a tonic, I suggest you just infuse it for 24 hours, then you drink it and cleanse your body. And if you want those lilac flowers to last longer, you have to dehydrate them and then store them in some kind of mason jar. And then when you want them, you use them. So that is some of the ways that lilac flowers and leaves can be used. So as you can see, this lilac plant is a very, very useful plant. Now, one last thing I want to say about lilac is my favorite way to use just lilac uh, as like a topical everyday use is by making a lilac salve. So I would do an infusion with my lilac. I do an infusion two ways. I do it like in my crock pot on the very lowest setting for about 1 or 2 hours. Or I also dry the lilac in my dehydrator, the flowers in my dehydrator, and then I infuse the dry petals in my oil, whichever oil of choice that I want, whether it be olive oil, grapeseed oil. Then I do that. And once it's infused, then I use beeswax, and I usually get my beeswax locally, organic beeswax, and I make a nice salve with the lilac infused oil and the salve. And you can add other medicinal plants like plantain. You can add like fir infused oil. Some of the evergreen, you can also infuse that into your lilac if you want, just to give it a little bit more astringent property. But lilac by itself is very astringent, so it's very good for scrapes and cuts and bruises and all that kind of stuff. So lilac is really good for that. So these are some of the main ways that I use my lilac for healing and um, medicinal properties. And of course, you can use this lilac as put it in your vase, and it makes a beautiful vase of flowers. Just remove all the leaves and just leave the naked stems. It doesn't last too long, about a week the most, sometimes less. It depends on how far gone the lilac is. So like these ones, they're not gonna last more than 3 days because the flowers is completely out. But if you pick it when the flowers are not completely out, then they last a little bit longer. So I'm gonna also take some to put inside in a vase, so I can smell some beautiful lilac scents in my kitchen. Get away from me, fly. There's a fly buzzing around and wouldn't leave me alone. But anyways, this is what I use the lilac for. I just love the smell. It's just amazing. Fly, can you leave me alone so I can make my video? I know I'm in your territory, but please. Okay guys, I'm moving because this fly, and it's like a cow fly. It's a huge cow fly, and I do not want it to bite me. So I will move away from this fly, and I hope it doesn't follow me. have picked your lilac and you have separated them and they're looking like this, now you got to do a final tedious task of removing all these tiny flowers from this little stem here before you can make your lilac honey. So making lilac honey is a very tedious job. And if you put the stems in, it tends to make the honey bitter. It gives it a bitter flavor. It's nothing is wrong with it, but not many people enjoy the bitter taste. And since my kids are going to be drinking it, I don't want to put the stems in. When I'm making stuff for my own self, so I'm going to make one small jar for my own self with the stems in. The bitter taste of the honey is good for you because it helps the bile in your liver to activate more and to function better, and it helps to clean the liver more. So the bitter taste is actually good, and it stimulates the liver and stimulate the production of more bile. So this is really good. But you know, kids and people don't like bitter things. So all you have to do is do this tedious task, hold this up, and just pluck all the tiny, tiny little flowers off this until it looks like that. So pluck, so you're gonna look like this. Pluck it all out like that. And what you want to get is this bunch of nice looking flowers, which you're going to put inside your mason jar and pour honey over it. And once I get to that stage, I will show you guys what it looks like. But as you can see, it got lots of plucking to do. So I guess I'll get plucking. This is very tedious. You can watch like a, I don't know, some kind of show or video or something where you do that. But what I can tell you is the aroma is amazing, and your fingers, they smell a lilac, and the scent just like stick on your fingers, and it's very sticky. So it is a very tedious task, but it's worth it because my fingers, they smell amazing. All right, y'all. After a 1 hour later, my petals are separated from my stems. I have my jar here, my mason jar, and I'm just gonna put all the petals in there. My daughter is gonna help me. Don't drop them. Take a little bit. So you want to put a lot in there, then you want to press it down. Okay.
I'm just make the mess of it, Mama.
You want to get your honey. Any honey would do, but organic honey is much better because you have all the enzymes in it, and it's not pasteurized, and you want that good stuff. So you just pour your honey simply over it, and it's gonna take a little while. Hold on 1 second.
I want to keep eating.
You can use some sort of a stick to push it down, but I usually leave it, then I come back and I pour some more honey in it, and eventually the flowers, the little petals, are gonna float to the top. But you see, it's, you want it?
Yeah, I almost don't
Okay,
like it.
you wanna lick it? Okay. So as they make bubbles and it's coming up, you want to just add some more. So you're just going to be doing this until all the honey gets to the bottom here, and the honey is going to eventually get to the bottom. It's going to keep. So basically you want to do this and you're going to leave it until, like I said, all the petals are completely inside the honey. It's going to take a while, and then you just cover it and leave it like this, and eventually the petals are going to flow up to the top, the honey is going to go down to the bottom. It's going to take a couple of hours, but don't worry about it. I'm just going to make another jar. I'm going to sit here again, pluck out some more flowers, and I'm going to make 2 jars and just put a label on it. It takes about 3 weeks to be infused really well. It takes about 3 weeks to take on the taste of the lilac. So don't try to use it before, because it just would not taste of lilac. But after 3 weeks, it's really infused, and it has that like a really nice flavor of real lilac. And you just need a very, like a teaspoon in your tea or in your whatever you're gonna put it in. It's just amazing. If you're gonna put it on pancakes, whatever it is, and you just leave the flowers in it. I don't really take the flowers off. Some people, they strain the honey out and they let the flowers stay at the top, but I don't really bother. I just eat the flowers together with the honey when I'm eating it, because the flowers, it just tastes like honey, and then you get that kind of lemony taste with the flowers when you bite into it. So it's a really an awesome flavor once it's infused in there. So 3 weeks and it's all good to go. So guys, this is my video for today, and this is how you make lilac honey. This lilac honey is really good. I use, my kids use this if they ever have a cold or flu or a sore throat or something coming on. I just put a little bit of warm water, dissolve that lilac honey in it, and give them to drink like 3 times a day, and in a couple of days the cold is gone or the sore throat is gone. It works really awesome. If I want to make it more potent, I just add some warm water with some lemon juice and the lilac honey, and it works like a charm. So we've been using this for years for my kids, and it's just awesome. Every year I just make this lilac honey. Even if my lilac trees don't have enough lilacs on it, there's a lot of lilacs in the wild, I just go find lilacs where it's not by the side of the road or anything like that, because you don't want lilacs that are by the side of the road, because it's going to be dusty and, you know, maybe have all kind of yucky stuff on it. You want it to be like inside a forest or inside a place where, you know, it's not close to dust and cars and all kind of pollution and stuff like that. But I have lots of lilac trees on my property, and my previous house, I had loads of lilac trees there also too, so I never had a problem obtaining good organic lilac. So guys, remember to love yourself, to tell yourself beautiful thoughts on the inside, speak positive words to yourself, and remember that you're beautiful. Tell yourself that every day, that you're beautiful. So I will see you in the next video, and I'll make a video about lilac herrings. I make a beautiful lilac herrings, and I'll come back with the next video showing you guys how I do that. So ciao.